Please can you remind me, if you'll be so kind, staring out into space, asking God to hear my case, trying to think of all things past. How long will my memory last? But purple angel, purple angel, purple angel.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Alzheimer's Speaks Radio. I'm your host and founder of Alzheimer's Speaks, Lori LeBay. Welcome to September 1st. Can you believe it? Fall is on its way. I still don't know where the heck the year went, but I'm waiting for the cooler temperatures because it's really hot here in Minnesota right now. For those of you that are new to our show, I'm just going to take a moment and tell you a little bit about Alzheimer's Speaks. We're an advocacy-based company providing multiple platforms to shift our dementia care from crisis to comfort around the world. And we believe that by joining forces and sharing knowledge and just having these everyday conversations about life with dementia, that we can remove the stigmas and the isolation that's attached to memory loss and help people live a quality life filled with purpose, just like everyone else. At our core, we believe collaboratively we're going to win this battle against dementia, and we know it's working because of all of your likes, your clicks, your shares. You have made a huge, huge impact. In fact, we were honored with the distinction of being the #1 influencer online, according to ShareCare and Dr. Oz, and we did not do that alone. That was because of your likes to your Facebook friends, your clicks and shares with your LinkedIn colleagues, sharing things with your Twitter tribes, and all the other social media that's out there. Powerful impact. So many people are dealing with this disease in our own circle of friends that we don't even know about it. And so the more we can push information out there, the more they're going to be able to reach it and grab it when the time is right for them. So again, I can't thank you enough for helping us with that. Our goal is really to raise awareness and give voice to everybody. So on this show, you will hear people that are actually diagnosed with the disease, families caring for loved ones, and friends. You're going to hear from advocates, musicians, film directors, just a little bit of everything, plus businesses that are out there along with authors and stuff. So if you have a story, if you think you're doing something that's improving life with dementia, we want to hear from you. We want to give people hope. We want to connect them to the resources that are available. So please contact me through the website at alzheimersspeaks.com and just go up to the gold contact button up in the header, and you can either call me or shoot me an email or send me a Skype message, whatever your preferred method of communication is. That would be great. The other thing I want to mention is if you visit alzheimersspeaks.com, there you'll find a lot of different platforms. Not only do we do the radio show, but we have a blog. We do a webinar series called Dementia Chats, and we do that twice a month on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month, and that's at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 Central. That'd be 9 Mountain and 8 Pacific Time, and 4 o'clock if you're over in London. And with that webinar series, our experts actually have dementia, and family, friends, professionals are all welcome to join us and ask questions of those people living with the disease, because a lot of times we can't ask our loved ones or we can't ask our clients. We also have a YouTube channel, and there's free tools and information that you can get from our site as well. So please feel free to go ahead and check in on that. You can also call in and join the conversation by calling 612-615-9404, 612-615-9404, and we will try to grab your call. There's also a chat box, we'll be monitoring, and we'd be more than glad to pull your conversation in that way if you're listening by your computer. Now, before I introduce our first guest today, I always like to give a shout out to a few organizations that I think people don't know enough about. And one of them is Alzheimer's Disease International. In fact, they just came out with their newsletter. If you're not familiar with it, you really should pick it up. It's a wonderful, wonderful newsletter filled with great information. They did one of their updated researches that just said it used to be there's a person in the world getting diagnosed with dementia every 4 seconds. That's now down to every 3 seconds. So this is growing. This is fast, and we're not getting away from dealing with it. So we might as well stand strong, stand tall together, and work together with this. This is Alzheimer's Month, and so again, what a great time to join together. The Purple Angel program is also something that I think is really important. Everybody at any level can use this new global symbol. It's free. Just go to our website, to the About page. There's all kinds of information, and you just have to click and ask me to send you the information. All you have to do in order to utilize this symbol is to read a poster. And it's very simplistic. It was started by a man in the UK by the name of Norms McNamara, who has dementia. It's in over 17 countries now. So this is a symbol that doesn't just recognize a type of dementia like Alzheimer's or Lewy body or frontal temporal lobe or vascular. It encompasses all of the types of dementia. One more I'm going to give a shout out to is the Alzheimer's team. You can find them on Facebook. And if you're interested in getting involved in a clinical trial, you can go to, again, the Alzheimer's team on Facebook, or you can find them on my website. There's actually a link where it'll take you to a place where you can actually take a survey to see if you fit any of the clinical trials. So, we're all battling for our families and our friends, and clinical trials is really a way that can help reshape treatment. And, we can't get new treatment without these trials, so I would encourage you to do that. Today we're going to be talking about reverse mortgages, and we've got just an excellent resource here with us today. Her name is Beth Patterson, and I'm proud to say she's actually a very good friend of mine. She's been in the senior industry since 1997, and I kind of laugh because to me it seems like 1997 wasn't that long ago, Beth, but I know it is a while. But you are just so resourceful. She is a certified reverse mortgage professional specializing in reverse mortgages since 1999. And in 2005, she started a company called Savvy Senior Sources, which is a resource guide for people. And she also has a website and a TV show called Savvy Senior Sources, talking with the experts. So welcome, Beth. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me here.
Well, it's kind of fun to have, we've chatted so much, and, we're both so passionate. I'm surprised we can fit in the room and to have a discussion because our energy just kind of bubbles out. And we're both kind of those advocates on steroids. I mean, you just do so much for seniors, and you are, well known around the country for your work with reverse mortgages and so much more. Why don't you explain to people, what the heck is a reverse mortgage, and how can it help people with Alzheimer's and dementia?
Well, reverse mortgages are really misunderstood, and there's a lot of misconceptions about them that seem to hit the media. So thanks for the opportunity to give some facts about it. Reverse mortgage is a mortgage like any other mortgage with special terms for those who are 62 and older. And some of the differences are that the homeowner has to be 62, the home has to be the primary residence of at least one of the homeowners. So in the case of somebody with Alzheimer's, the person may be in memory care that has Alzheimer's, but the other homeowner is still in the home. And so then we can do the reverse mortgage. Monthly mortgage payments are not required. However, homeowners are still responsible for paying their property taxes, keeping insurance on the home, and maintaining the home, just as if you have another conventional mortgage or don't have a mortgage, you still have to pay the property taxes, and insurance is to your benefit also. Another difference is the funds can be received in various ways, either as a lump sum, a line of credit, or monthly payments to suit whatever is needed for the homeowner. We calculate what's called a tenure, T-E-N-U-R-E, payment for one of the monthly payment options, and that means as long as you're living in the home as your primary residence and abiding by the terms of the loan, you would receive that monthly payment. Even if you're 120 and still in the home, that payment would still come to you. Or if somebody needs to have a certain amount of money per month, then that can also be calculated and provide the funds needed. May not be as long as what the 10-year payment would be, but it still can help people stay in the home. Another different, well, the line of credit, it grows, so more money becomes available to homeowners over time. And another difference of the reverse mortgage and a conventional is the loan is what's called a non-recourse loan, so there's no personal liability to the borrower or the heirs if the loan balance happens to be higher than the home value when the property is sold. So those are some of the little details. How it can help someone with Alzheimer's is, and I'm working with somebody right now, she is in a memory care unit and they need the money to pay for her care. So they're doing the reverse mortgage on the home to free up the cash to pay for her care. He is still in the home, and so that's how we can make it work.
Okay, great. Are you seeing these mortgages on the increase or the decline? I mean, there's been so much in the news. I mean, they're good, they're bad, they're ugly, they're great. I mean, it's just like my head just spins when I hear about them.
There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of misconceptions. There's been a lot of changes the last few years, and so some additional protections have been in place. Some of it has been having to do with non-borrowing spouses where one of the spouses is not 62 and the reverse mortgage is done. There's some new protections in place for those non-borrowing spouses. And then the other issue that was really dredging up a lot of negative media was the homeowners who didn't pay property taxes and insurance. Mm-hmm. And so we are now doing a financial assessment to determine their ability and willingness to pay their property taxes and keep insurance on the home. So it's kind of been all over the place as far as how many people are doing them. It's still a very good product, and as people understand them and actually get the facts, it's a good tool.
Well, it allows, everyone says that they don't want to move. Mm-hmm. And, that's one of the things that it allows is for people to stay in their home. I know that people get worried about doing paperwork and, is there the value? And do you help them through that process?
Most definitely. And yes, there's a lot of paperwork, but not much different than doing any other type of loan. There's paperwork involved or any other financial tool. And, one of the statements is reverse mortgages are complex. Well, what financial tool isn't complex? So, yes, they need to be led through. Don't just, and there's what's called a call center where you call in and the people are doing the application or getting the information over the phone. Before you do and give any information, make sure you understand the reverse mortgage and the terms and what all the facts are, positives, negatives. Will it work for your situation? If you're going to be moving in a very short period of time, the reverse mortgage probably isn't the right option for you. So don't feel pressured, work with somebody. And yes, I do, and there's many others across the country who also do the hand-holding. Many of us are brokers who do the face-to-face meet with people, and that can be an important tool to help people guide through the paperwork.
Now, here in Minnesota, do they have to go through like a training process even before they can get the loan or apply for the loan, or am I dreaming?
No, you're not dreaming. It's not just here in Minnesota, though. The most common reverse mortgage is through HUD or insured by HUD. And HUD requires that anybody doing a reverse mortgage has to go through a third-party counseling session. The counseling session, for me, it's pretty much a review of what I've reviewed or gone over with the borrowers, but it's a nice review because sometimes when you hear it from more than one person, something else will sink in a little better. But it is a HUD requirement before we can start processing the loan. We have to have a counseling certificate. So the homeowner power of attorney, whoever is actually going to be signing paperwork, does need to go through that counseling. So not dreaming.
Okay, well that's always good to know. You never know. You never know with me.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good protection
Yeah.
to make sure people are understanding it versus just feeling pressured to sign paperwork.
Now, how does it, what if a family, because you hear a lot of families put a home in a life estate. Does that ixnay them from being able to do a reverse mortgage?
We can do a reverse mortgage with a life estate in place as long as the remainder persons also are acknowledging and signing a couple of the documents. So that can be done. Another financial tool is a trust, and we can do the reverse mortgage if it's a revocable trust or depending on the wording of an irrevocable trust. And it seems like more recent development of a legal tool is called a transfer on death deed, or TOD, T-O-D-D, and we can do the reverse mortgage with that in place also.
Okay. Well, wonderful. And if people wanted to get a hold of you to do a reverse mortgage, are you just licensed in Minnesota, or can you go outside Minnesota?
I personally am just licensed in Minnesota, but I have references to others across the country. So you can still reach out to me and I can do referrals to others.
Okay. And for a reverse mortgage, how should they contact you, Beth?
Our phone number is 651-762-9648. And our website is www.rmsidac.com.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm glad that we covered that topic. There's so many things that I could talk to you about because you're active in just a multitude of things. But let's talk about Savvy Senior Sources. What is that? Why did you start it? And how is it helping people with dealing with dementia?
Savvy Senior Sources came about in 2003, I believe it was. The National Reverse Mortgage Lenders Association was starting a campaign called Aging in Place. And that's broken off now into a little separate association, but I was doing some resource fairs during the Aging in Place week, trying to provide that resource information on how to help people stay in their homes. And to promote the show, and then it just kind of morphed into starting my own business of Savvy Senior Sources. And with Savvy, we focus on resources, guiding your way through A to Z is our tagline. And we select the members. I think you mentioned that we have a website. We also do a guidebook. And there's so much information on the internet. If you're looking for a home care company, or you're looking for fall prevention therapist or something, who do you know to trust? How do you know who to trust? So we kind of try and do that screening. Of course, everybody who is making the choices on their own, that it's up to them to decide and do their final choice.
Sure.
And we're not connected in that way, but we try and help sort out some of that information by knowing reputation, focusing on people who have been in the industry, and keep the seniors in mind.
Well, and there's so much to sort out. I mean, I went through this a long time ago with my folks, and I was in the industry, but it really highlighted to me how many different terms and spins people have. Or you're using the same term, but delivering totally different services. I mean, it was mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling, especially when you're already in the situation where you're needing care. And so it can be very overwhelming. One of the things I do suggest is making a plan ahead of time, what if, and then go from there so that if something happens, you know what the options are. I remember back when my mom and dad were in Indiana, and my mom was in and out of nursing homes, and I remember sitting at the table with my dad one time, and he was filling me in on what he thought of this nursing home and that nursing home, And I said, well, this is good to know, because if I ever need, we ever need to put you in a nursing home, which ones you've already gone through and experienced is maybe not as good, and others that are better. And so those are the reasons for the planning ahead, but also knowing what those resources and options are.
Well, that was smart that your folks got out there and looked around. So many people have so much fear. It's like, well, if I don't see it, I don't need it. It'll stay away, and we all know it don't work that way.
No, it doesn't. And actually, Dad was taking care of Mom. She was one of those they had not planned, but it was because of Mom we started making the plan of knowing ideas of what would happen. And that is so important to know. What resources are there? Who can you trust? How do you find those trusted resources?
Well, and there's so much more, available. I think back 30 years when my folks were going through this, and my dad with brain cancer, my mom with the Alzheimer's and stuff, and the community local information, it is so significantly out there, but you have to know where to look for it too. And, the opportunities are really vast to be able just to go to a lot of free seminars and take up on the tours. When I was in real estate, people literally, when I first started working in the senior market and trying to do some of these educational programs, which wasn't done back in the day, people actually thought I was going to rope them up and tie them until they signed a contract to sell their home or move. The fear was so great.
Yeah.
And, now people go and they see their neighbors and they're like, oh, you're thinking about it too, or you're researching it too. And it's a whole different atmosphere out there, which is really nice to see.
And having the conversation of, if this were to happen, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go? I know people always want to stay in their home, but they still need to have the conversation. What if it's not safe? What if you do have Alzheimer's and you need to go into a memory care unit? Because home care can come in and do a lot, but at some point the cost could be prohibitive. Even if they do a reverse mortgage, funds could run out, and so the plan needs to be, or if people want to stay in their home, have the conversation. Or if they want to move to senior housing, have that conversation. What's your goals? And it's important as a family to have that discussion.
I agree. And so many times, people, again, they think if they don't think about it, it's not going to happen. But it really is good business of living to plan ahead and be knowledgeable. I would much rather pick or have some input, even if, let's say, I was comatose, that this is where I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
And I would think that would give family comfort too, So don't be afraid of these resources that are out there. Let's talk a little bit. Well, first of all, how do they get a hold of your guide? SavvySeniorSources.com is our website. There's a page you can go to.
I will say that we are in the middle of updating it, so it's not currently available today, but it will be available in a couple months with the updated version of it. But there is the form there. There's also a lot of the resources listed on the website. We are working on doing this educational fair here in the Twin City area, where our first one is coming up in November, but we're looking at others throughout next year. And then with the TV show, or is that what you were going to go and talk to?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll talk about that, and then we'll go into details. But SavvySeniorSources.com, and Savvy is SAVVY.
Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell us about this TV show? I know, like I said, Beth has been a friend for years, and it's something she's always wanted to do, and now it's finally happened. So tell us a little background, since I know, but our audience doesn't. Why did you feel the need to go to that platform in terms of, TV, and what is it all about?
The show is, title of the show is Savvy Senior Sources Talking with Experts, and it is on local cable channel as well as we have a YouTube channel. And the show is an opportunity to meet the trusted advisors in your home before actually picking up the phone and having a conversation. And as we kind of just said, people are afraid of, either not getting the information or it's not there. And we're trying to help people feel that comfort in knowing the resources.
Well, that's nice. Now, can you tell us what type of guests you have on your show?
We have our first show was on discussions that we need to have, which I just kind of highlighted about where do you want to go, what's the plan, what resources are out there. And but other shows have been on home care, on caregiving, life settlements. Our show this year is being sponsored by a company that provides life settlements and which is converting life insurance policies into cash, which can also be a great tool for people. And so we've done a show on that. Caregivers, we interviewed a woman who left her job to take care of her parents. We just, legal issues. I'm trying to think about it. It's like every day I turn around, I have a new topic to cover. Spam or scams for seniors. We had the Better Business Bureau on as a guest. We did a show on security fraud. Just a whole variety.
Well, that's great because, the list is really endless out there from home health care to there's so many different types of housing alternatives. I would imagine estate planning and getting your ducks in a row, financial people. This is a big thing, and people need to take it as seriously. Planning. Planning for I hate to even say end of life because it's really planning to live well.
Yeah.
But everyone has it in their mind, oh, the end is coming, and no one wants to go there. And it's really not typically about death and dying. It's about, having a better match in terms of what you need in terms of housing and services.
And how to live life to the fullest while you're still alive, no matter what our conditions are, whether they're physical or mental, we can still live life to the fullest when we know those options.
Exactly. And do you ever interview, or have you interviewed or given thought to interview maybe a family who's kind of struggled on this topic and why it's hard? I'm just thinking that might be an interesting show for others to be able to relate to. Crack the nuts.
That would be. We did have a guest talking about leaving her job for to take care of her parents, and one of them did have Alzheimer's, and I forget the other's, her father's situation. But that was a show. We are going to have a guest on the sandwich generation, taking care of your parents while still trying to take care of your family too. So,
yeah, that's a challenge. That's I was there for many years, and you don't even know how crazy it is until it's over.
Yeah, and sitting in the middle of that situation and just feeling, a lot of times you feel alone, and you're not alone, and this is a platform to help people understand that they're not alone and, again, meet those resources.
Yeah. Well, again, if anybody is listening and wants to call in, you can surely do that. Call into 612-615-9404. That's 612-615-9404. Or you can utilize the chat box, and we would be glad to see your comments there as well. So wonderful. Well, I just think, what you're doing, and you have not given up. You have just pushed and pushed and pushed, and been so consistent with your work. You're just really a role model and a mentor to so many people out there, in terms of doing just absolutely fantastic work. So I really, really appreciate all of your efforts. Do you have some things in mind for next steps? I know that you're just kind of getting rolling with the TV and and stuff. But you seem to have a mind that spins. And
Oh, it does, always. There's always another topic, as you just suggested, having a family on. Every day there's another topic. We are working on the educational fairs, not to be confused with a health fair. We are through those, and we have done a few in the past, and we're hoping to bring more of those to the area. But the educational fairs are focused on providing the education and resources and having the discussion. And Lori, you are going to be our keynote speaker at the one coming up in November, so we're proud to have that. Trying to get those in a more consistent manner. And who knows if there's a way of taking Savvy Seniors beyond, I should say Savvy Senior Sources is the full name, but taking that beyond just here in the Twin Cities and a way of making and creating it, duplicating it elsewhere.
yeah, I think that there's a huge, huge need for that. And I know that there's a lot of companies trying to do that, but you've just done it with a little different twist. And you really vet your people that are part of your community. And I think that that's so important. And because one, I mean, you can't even pick up the yellow pages anymore, and
Yeah.
and you go to the internet, just like the yellow pages, and you don't even know where to start or who to call, and if it's an emergency, you pick the one that starts with an A, and
Right, and they may not be the best one, and so it's based on reputation and that type of thing, and
yep.
so we select, and we also, in the guide, or as the members that are also on the website, we do limit the number in each category. For example, on home care, there's over 9,000 home care companies in the Twin Cities now. How in the heck do you sort through those?
Yep.
And so we limit to around 12. But there's also differences in the home care of companion services up to skilled care. And you need to know what those differences are.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And that's nice to be able to have that sorted out for you. You want to talk a little bit about the conference, and can you share you shared the date. I think you said November 2nd.
It's actually November 5th. It's a Thursday.
Okay.
I
should probably put that on my calendar.
You should. We're just confirming everything. It's from 4 to 8 at Transfiguration Church in Oakdale. And of course, that's Minnesota. And we have, as I said, Lori is our keynote speaker. We will have an opening speaker, and then we'll have a panel presentation talking about some of the resources. And we will also have exhibitor tables full of those resources where people can come and get that information. Those attending will get a copy of the Savvy Senior Sources Guide. And
since you're still putting that together, if companies want to get involved in that, can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me,
okay.
Yes. Yeah, please. And again, SavvySeniorSources.com and is the link for our contact information.
Okay. Do you know who your opening speaker is going to be, or
that hasn't been confirmed yet? So it's going to be focused on the topic on the need for planning.
Okay.
So I'm not. I may be doing it myself. We're not sure yet.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, and we don't have all of the panel presentations tied down either, but they will be some financial services, housing resources, understanding the different housing options, and then a little bit on reverse mortgages.
Mm-hmm. Great. Do you think you'll have home care at all?
Home care companies will be involved.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if they will be one of the speakers, possibly.
Okay. Okay.
So, but we're excited to do it. When we've done it in the past, the testimonies we've received have just been real powerful on how much it has meant for them to be able to come and meet the resources, find out that they're not alone, and to get a lot of, their goodie bag of information and resources.
Well, I know the one that I was involved with in the past. I mean, you had a packed crowd, and people just were raving about the information that they got, and really felt it was of value to show up, and really appreciated the variety in terms of who you had there too, which sometimes it's a hit and miss. Some conferences, I mean, they'll take whoever will pay them, to walk in the door and put up a booth, and you really handle it come from a whole different angle in terms of who you pull in.
And we're not looking for the number of crowd. We're not looking to have 300 to 600 people. We really focus on those who want the information and can find value in it, not just come in. And there will be a light meal served as well.
Wonderful. Well, that is absolutely fantastic. I'm excited to be part of it on November 5th. Yes, I don't know. I don't know. Were we talking November 2nd at one time? Or?
We were talking the week of November 2nd, but
okay.
I think at one point we were talking Tuesday would be another option. I guess that's election day, so we decided not to do it on election day.
Oh, good thought. Good thought. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've talked with so many people about different events, and so I'm surprised they even got November right.
Yeah.
With things. So that's great. Now, Beth, I also want to get your opinion, if you don't mind. You had come to the red carpet event for His Neighbor Phil this past Saturday, and I would just love to hear what your thoughts were of the film. It's always just nice. I mean, I know what I think of it, but it's always nice to hear what others think of the film as well.
First of all, it was a fantastic and fun event, so thank you for putting that together. And I think more than just you were involved in doing that, but thank you.
Yeah, HealthStar Home Health, really, I mean, that was their baby. They hosted it. Holly Eide worked her tail off. Tim Lively, the owner, was just amazing in terms of just allowing her to do what she did, and their staff. So great company to work for. And again, if you're looking for a wonderful home health care here locally, I can't say enough good things about HealthStar Home Health.
So my hat's off to them and to you. And the movie is, to me, it's a must-see for anybody. I think Alzheimer's touches all of us in some format or another, whether it's the neighbor or whether it is a family member or just a coworker who is dealing with a spouse or parent or a loved one. It really was realistic to me to help people understand. You just felt like you were with that family, and the struggles that everybody goes through, the tension between the siblings, the denial that happens, and it was just very, very powerful. And so definitely a must-see.
Yeah, it was very fun for me to see it in a theater and hear the laughter and hear the tears and the sniffling. But people were they were just so gracious at applauding at the end. I mean, comments, there was a couple of brand new actors in there. Christy Knudsen, who played Isabel, the daughter, who I just can't in a million years believe this was her first film.
No kidding. She was amazing.
She was really, really good. And then Bob Bird, who played Phil, did a really nice job in that role as well. And there were so many others that I can't even name. Did you have a favorite role, person in the film?
I can't say that I did. I liked them all. They all had, and because I have been touched by Alzheimer's in various ways, I could see it in so many people. I did take a while for me to figure out why the movie was called His Neighbor Phil. And it was all through. I was sitting there going, why is this it? Because it was focused on this family, and Phil wasn't even in the picture. But his message at the end was very strong.
Yep. I know. And well, I struggled with it too, because it was like his neighbor Phil. Shouldn't it be my neighbor Phil? I was like, it didn't click with me either. And now it just is so settled with me. And that end scene is so powerful. Well, the couple of scenes towards the end are both so powerful. And it just I had one friend. Her and her boyfriend came, and they ended up leaving because they were both crying. She said, I was bawling. She's like, my makeup was running, my eyes were puffy. I finally told Bill we had to leave, and he was very teary too. And she said, and so I was up on stage emceeing, and I get this text, we're so sorry, we have to leave. And then she texted me later that night, and she said, this was just such a good film. She said the acting was superb. She said it touched Bill and I more deeply than we can even explain. And she said, we are just so grateful we were there, which was nice, because some people, when they get that emotional, are like, why did you invite me to something like that? But, Kelly's dealing, I think, with her mom, who she might be wondering, does she maybe have some memory issues? And Billy for a whole nother reason. But it really is about that whole unconditional love and people stepping up. And after they've pushed away, because, it kind of goes through that whole scene of denial. And there's just so many levels. And I think that's why it felt so real, was because it showed so many different dynamics. It didn't limit the true emotions. And so I personally think it's going to be a game changer in the industry, because it has such a powerful impact on people.
And for people to, when they watch it, to be open to the message. One of the scenes is trying to bring somebody in from the outside, a home care company, to provide those services, and the resistance of, no, I'm not having a stranger in my house, but the need to accept that having that outside person come in can allow you to remain as the family member and not the caregiver, is one of the messages. So I think people need to be open. They're going to feel the emotions, positive, the laughter, the denial and the sadness and the tears, but to see how you can bring people together. And again, Phil's message towards the end was extremely powerful.
Oh, and how she described this, and what we're talking about, we can't give it all.
No, I don't. That's why I'm resisting saying it all. But you've got to watch it to see.
Yeah, there's a really big miscommunication that looks so evident on film, and then it's like it just takes you to the whole other side of the river, and you just kind of go, really. And Mary, who is Stephanie Zimbalist, she just plays a wonderful role as Mary, and she really describes how things got miscommunicated and what she saw from her eyes. And I think it's going to really change and get people to think deeply about even their, how they show up. From personality to realizing their nonverbals are really important. There's so many touch points in this. One thing we didn't do, because we pulled the actors up afterwards, since we had them in town, and heard kind of some backstory on why they got involved. But when this is shown via the sponsors, there'll be talkbacks that will engage the audience. And when I wrote the talkback, Holly and I went through, and there's pages of touch points. I think it's almost going to be impossible for someone to sit in there and not be hit by at least one of those touch points, that they experienced in their own family or via a friend or whatever it is. What did you think of the actors? And
they were phenomenal, and the actress, and I'm not real good with names, so I apologize for that, who played Mary with Alzheimer's. Amazing.
That was Stephanie Zimbalist, yeah.
How she could really be so realistic and not just look like an actor.
Yep.
They were all phenomenal, and Harvey, played by Danny, was also amazing, and just all of them.
Yeah, Danny Roebuck. Stephanie Zimbalist, a lot of people will know her from Remington Steele. Daniel Roebuck is his acting name, but Danny played in Glee. A lot of people recognize him from there. He was in Lost. Many people recognize him from Matlock. I was sitting down watching Netflix the other day, and The Fugitive came on. I'm like, there he is again. He's kind of all over the place. And Ellen Dolan, who played Charlie, I just thought she did a great job. She was the sister who came in with all the alternatives and the coconut oil and trying to figure out on a holistic level, how to help her sister.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were just so.
That's where all the family dynamics come in, because there's everybody has their own opinion.
Yep.
And so we have to learn to work together.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, you have to go see the movie just to see the fork in the wall.
Yeah.
Usually, when you talk about dementia and stuff, it can be a fork in the path, but this was a fork in the wall. So, yeah. And to get access to this, it'll be available via the sponsors. Alzheimer's Speaks, of course, is a platinum sponsor, along with HealthStar Home Health and Synergy Home Care. Here locally, we also have St. Therese and the Lutheran Home Associations, our gold levels, and then Avinity, Keystone Communities. And we've got Country Meadows, who is more out east. And then Leading Age Georgia is also a sponsor, and Senior Care Authority is a bronze level sponsor. Actually, they're going to be, I think, bumped up to a gold level sponsor here pretty quickly, because they just are so impressed and want to expand their role with this film, because it is so powerful on that. So, yeah, it's kind of exciting times with all of this. We'll see. I got a call this morning from I'm going to be bringing the film down to Florida, and through the Alzheimer's Association. Another association down there just called and said, I looked at your site and I watched the previews, and I'm so excited about this, and I how do we get this down here? And we're talking, and she's like, oh my gosh, I was excited before. She's like, I can't wait to get off the phone and start talking to sponsors. We're getting this down here. She's like, we've been waiting for a film like this, and again, it's entertaining. It's not, even though it's all about dementia, it really is about a family.
Mm-hmm. And the whole family dynamics of one, whether it's Alzheimer's or anything that comes together for caregiving and dealing with a situation. And so that's why I say it's a must-see for everybody.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful storyline. Great acting. Yeah. If you go to our blog, I just put up some pictures from the red carpet event, and only a few. Sure. The photographers, we had 4 of them, took, it sounds like over 750 probably, and then someone else said, well, I've got another 100.
So you're going to have a lot.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to go through and screen all of those. I get to pick the rest of them up tonight, so I'm kind of excited to do that. I don't know what we'll do with them all. We'll probably stick them on the site and let people be able to use them for their own marketing and stuff. So, yeah, kind of fun. And, for anyone who is interested in learning about his neighbor Phil, again, just go to alzheimerspeaks.com and go ahead and click on the contact button up in the header, and just shoot me an email or give me a holler, and we can talk about getting that film to your community. It will be a game changer. I would actually like to see senior housing communities do this on a quarterly basis, just as a regular activity.
That's a great idea.
Because what I heard, and I don't know if you heard it when you were there, but people said, I need to bring other people to this, you know, and I know when my friend Jonathan Brooks did the play at the Guthrie, and then, you know, she was out on Broadway with it. She was it was a musical, and it's called My Mother Had Four Noses, and I think I went 4 times and brought different people every time because it was just, I never got tired of it because it was just so beautifully done, and it was just interesting conversation, and people were so thankful. You know,
Well, I think you see something different every time. You can't get it all in one sitting or watching.
Yeah, it'll go down kind of as a notebook movie, I think, you know.
They're trying to get it to the mainstream. Aren't they?
And, you know, they've been talking, I think, with Lifetime, and, you know, they're not sure. And I'm kind of discouraging them a little bit on going the Netflix route, because I really think it is about connecting people to community. And I think watching it in your living room and watching it with a group that has resources is very different. And so for me, you know, when I got involved with the film, they were having a tough time getting it out. And so I started working with them on that and kind of came up with this plan to say, let's keep it community based. And let's, you know, get it out there where it doesn't have to cost them anything, and let's connect them to resources that can help them. And maybe they're not going to need them today, but at least they're going to know they're there tomorrow. Kind of like you're talking with, you know, Savvy Sources, you know, resources. It's so important for people to be connected, you know, to that information.
Because when you wait until it's a crisis, you lose a lot of control and you lose a lot of choices.
And a lot of sleep.
Yeah, no kidding, and a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
But so when you have the plan, and you may have to alter that plan, but at least have ideas and know what resources are there.
Exactly. Well, Beth, this has just been great to have you on the show today. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like our audience to know?
Just keep your mind open and do your homework on all the different resources, whether it's reverse mortgages or any of the others that we mentioned that are part of Savvy Senior Sources. Understand them. Don't believe your neighbor, because that's one thing that we often hear with reverse mortgages are, you know, oh, well, my neighbor said, well, you know, you go to the doctor and you go to the specialist. So whatever the category is you're needing services, go to the specialist.
Exactly. That's huge. That is just absolutely massively huge. The other thing that I think is really important too, when people get referrals, and when I was in real estate, I used to tell people this all the time, is just because George got along with that person, his personality might be really different than yours. And so if you're really analytical and they're kind of, you know, let it fly, you're probably going to need a different, and it might not be a different company, but you might need a different representative. And you need to know that, and you need to respect that, I think, about yourself. And so often people don't, and I think that's where things get really frustrating and really, really hairy with that.
And people have choices, and it's their life. They need to make those choices.
Exactly. Well, why don't you go ahead and give people your contact information one more time?
Phone number is 651-762-9648. We answer it as Reverse Mortgages SIDAC, but then we do take the Savvy calls there also. Our websites are rmsidac.com for reverse mortgage information, or SavvySeniorSources.com for the Savvy Senior Sources Guidebook, resources that are on the site, as well as information for the TV show and a link to the YouTube channel and our educational fairs.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much, Beth. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and call Donna True right now and get her on the line. She's with the Alzheimer's Association of Southeast Florida, and she's the program director. We're going to talk with her, but while we get her on the line, I'm just going to give a shout out to the Twin Cities Hit Show with Rusty Gatenby. In fact, I was on his show last Friday, and he came out to the red carpet event, which was great, and covered that, met some of the actors and the director and our sponsors and a lot of our guests out there. So a big thank you to Rusty for doing that for us. It really, really helped us out. If you haven't listened to his show, you need to do it. It's every morning at 9:30, and he covers a little bit of everything, upbeat, really a fun show. So don't miss the Twin Cities Hit Show at 9:30 each morning. The other show here at Alive and Social that you might enjoy is Apples to Apples, and it's a sports show featuring a father and a son, which is Scott and Drew Applebaum. And you'll find out, does father really know best on their show there. They have some great conversations, and again, I think some lively banter between dad and son on that show. Let's see. I also wanted to just give some information out while we're getting Donna on the line, and do kind of a mid-program highlight. For those of you that didn't hear the last week's show, we had on two authors, Anatole Crane and Linda Marquette, and they wrote a book called Dementia Caregivers Share Their Stories, a support group in a book. And it really is. It's a wonderful way to get great information if you're not able to get out. Again, called Dementia Caregivers Share Their Stories, a support group in a book. Next week, we're going to have Danja Gale from the Women's Broadcast Network with us, and that'll be a lively conversation. She is so positive and so empowering of women. She's doing some really neat things, but I think it'll be really helpful to our audience what her platform is doing, because I think we all need to feel empowered, and we need a positive spin, that life's not so bad. And sometimes when we're dealing with disease, we can kind of do the, oh, woe is me. So Donna will be on our next show, which will be on the 8th. We'll also be doing the Dementia Chats on September 8th, and that happens in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific, and 4 o'clock London time. And again, Dementia Chats is a free webinar where our experts have dementia, and it's just an open conversation. For the blog, let's see, what can I point out there? There's a fun article on the red carpet event with lots of pictures and some video. You can get information about the free Treasure Coast Symposium in Florida, which we're going to be talking to Donna about here shortly. You can get more information on all kinds of things. We've got some tabs there that also will give you information about just stories and stuff that I personally wrote with my own mom and her journey there. So do we have Donna on the line yet? We do.
Yes, I am here.
Well, hey Donna, how you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
Well, thanks for joining us from sunny Florida. We're pretty sunny up here in Minnesota today. we're all whining a bit. It's a little too hot and a little too humid. So we're just sitting by our
I
air
just went through a
conditioners.
big rainstorm, so it's not so sunny in Florida right now.
Not
but
so sunny,
it will
huh?
be tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you know, but Mara Botanis was supposed to join us today. And for our audience who's not familiar with her, I just need to give her a plug because I just absolutely adore this woman. Mara is just a brilliant light in the world of dementia and caregiving, and she has worked with seniors and the dementia industry for several decades, and she's written this amazing book called When Caring Takes Courage. She was actually the 2015 recipient of two magnificent awards, the Jefferson Award for Outstanding Public Service to those impacted by Alzheimer's, and this one was the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Award for Outstanding Public Service on behalf of and throughout the United States. So, I mean, she is just an incredible woman. She works tirelessly as an advocate. She is actually on the board of directors for the Southeast Florida chapter, where Donna is from. She is on the Dementia Action Alliance and works actually as my co-chair for the Access and Utilization Work Group there. She works closely with the Project Lifesaver International Program and the National Alzheimer's Crisis Intervention as a National Crisis Intervention Educator. She's also a a national support group co-moderator for Us Against Alzheimer's. So, I mean, this woman is constantly going. She had a medical emergency that she called me in, and she felt horrible. She couldn't be a guest. I'm like, Mara, really, it's okay. I don't need a note from the doctor. We just love you to death and want her to get better. And so she won't be able to join us today here, Donna, to talk about your September event that's coming up. So why don't you give our audience a little background in terms of your association and what this September event is all about?
Okay, I would be happy to do that. First of all, I've actually been with the Alzheimer's Association for 13 years now, and the chapter that I am with is called the Southeast Florida chapter. And I think, as you know, Lori, we have chapters across the whole United States of America. And one of the things we offer is a 24-hour helpline where if anybody needs to reach a master's level clinician any time of day, holiday, midnight, doesn't matter when, they can reach a master's level clinician by calling our toll-free 800 number. And we are also one of the largest funders of research. So we're not only there, we're about people and we're about science, because we want to not only help everybody dealing with any type of memory loss disorder every day, but we are looking to the future. We want a cure.
Yep. We all want the cure. That's for sure.
Yes, we are working on it. And that's happening around the world. So it is really exciting, and I know the scientists are very hopeful and positive about what's coming up. So I'm just waiting for that big front page thing on every newspaper across the world saying the cure has been found.
Yeah, wouldn't that be sweet? Wouldn't that be sweet?
Yes. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I've been working in this field for 20 years now. And one of the things we've offered locally, thanks to a beautiful grant from Lily and Becky Brockman in our local area, we're able to offer a couple of free educational events. And Lori, this year I'm so delighted and excited to meet you and to have you come into our neck of the woods here in Stuart, Florida. We're going to be offering both the movie, an exclusive showing of the movie His Neighbor Phil, thanks to you, in Stuart on September 17th. We're going to have a matinee, 1:30 until 4, and not only show the movie, but have you facilitate discussion around the movie and what was covered in the movie. So we look forward to that. Again, that's a free event to anybody who would like to join us.
Yeah, we just got done talking. I have Beth Patterson in the studio here with me, and she was at the red carpet event here, and so we just did a big plug for the movie as well, and just how powerful it was. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that screening, and having the conversation, because people, anyways, here in Minnesota, we're just thrilled. But I mean, we've had so many people screen it around the world, and they just can't believe what a good film it is. And I think it's because it's got a great storyline, like Beth and I were talking. It's not, even though the storyline is about Alzheimer's, it's really about families and how they're affected by disease. And real powerful. So, yeah, come on out September 17th. How do they go ahead and register for that? What's the best route?
Oh, well, there's a couple different ways. They can either go right to a website. I have a little link. It's not very long, but I can give it to you now. It's http:// tiny, .cc / I, S like Sam, A, 2, X. That's one quick and easy way to register for either the symposium or the movie. And again, I'll repeat that if that's okay, Lori.
Sure.
Because I know they're hard to get over the air, but it's http:// tiny, .cc / ISSA 2X. Or if people don't want to go online, they can very simply call the Alzheimer's Association at 1-800-272-3900. And this is being offered through the Southeast Florida chapter. And they can RSVP that way, or they can email me. And my name is Donna True. My email is dtrue, DTRUE, at alz.org. So it's dtrue at alz, short for Alzheimer's.org.
Okay, and another way, too, to be able to get to it is I did do a blog post. So if you just put in Symposium, it'll probably pop up, but it was just recently that we put that in, so you don't have to scroll too far. Or you can go to alzheimersspeaks.com on our homepage and just scroll down, and you'll see the big purple flyer. Just click on that, and that'll bring you right there, too. So if you don't have a pen handy, just remember Alzheimer's Speaks homepage, and you're good to go. It's been fun because I've had several people from around the country say that they're going to come, and so it should be a really, really fun time. Both the movie and then the symposium. Do you want to tell people a little bit about the symposium and how that's laid out and what they can expect?
Yeah. Yes, I would love to do that. Well, this is our 4th annual symposium in Stuart, Florida. And this year, of course, Laura, you're going to be our main guest speaker. We're going to have you'll be on stage a couple of different times, but also with you will be Mara Batanas, who you just mentioned, our award-winning and also our local, she's a board member on our local chapter, which we're very lucky to have her. She will be speaking. She's going to be talking about helpful hints in everyday life, and that's what our people in our local area ask for. How do we do the daily things? How do we get through? I think, Laura, your message is definitely one of hope and how to drive change in the caregiving process. And then in addition to that, we're going to have, I call her a mighty voice. It's Dottie Carson, who is the voice of younger onset Alzheimer's disease. And Dottie will be speaking in the morning, and she'll also be on the panel with you and Mara in the afternoon. And Dottie was diagnosed just a few months ago at the age of 57. And she will be talking about what it's like to have this disease. And Lori, it's so exciting. I know you spoke to her, but one of the things that when I'm in the room and Dottie speaks, she has totally taken away that stigma that most people associate with Alzheimer's, and she's very empowering. She is not this disease. She is Dottie, and she's going to carry her message forward and be there for others. And she offers so much hope and optimism.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Looking forward to meeting her. And, I saw some of the things that she was going to address in her talk, and I think it'll be a really powerful message of what it really is like, and how the disease has affected her, but it surely hasn't stopped her by any stretch. I think if anything, it's revved up her motor a little bit. It sounds like.
I agree.
And I was going to say, I didn't know her before, but yeah, she's in high gear, and she's ready to make some change and really help the cause. And that's just that's an energy I just love, So it's fun to see that. Very fun to see that. So.
And I think with Dottie, I think it had been a few years where she knew something wasn't quite right with her, and she'll tell you this. And then she will actually say she was relieved when she got the diagnosis. And even though younger onset Alzheimer's disease does not run in her family, she did have her father died her father had Alzheimer's disease, and so it is in her family, but not the younger onset. So she is a powerful voice, and we hope people can join us. Because with the three of you talking, I think it's going to be the most upbeat educational day ever.
I think it'll be very fun. And, Mara's got her book, When Caring Takes Courage, that is just, it's like 3 books in one, because she the stories, but then she's got the checklists and methodology. And and when she shares, she's got so much experience, both personal and work life, and she's just on a mission to really change the world, kind of like I am, And it'll be. I have never met Mara. Her and I have worked on several committees and projects together, and I can't wait to just give her a big hug and because I feel like I've known her all of my life, and she's probably one of the most authentic people that I've ever met without meeting.
Yes, that's amazing. And I have met her, and she truly is. She's also so very humble.
Yep.
And
oh yeah.
Even when she's gone to some of our events, like our early stage event, and she never would introduce herself as a board member or an award-winning, somebody who has won the Jefferson Award or the Jacqueline Kennedy Award. She introduces herself as a volunteer.
Yep.
With the Alzheimer's Association, and that, and she relates to people on a beautiful level.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. I don't think I told you. Did I mention the date of? I know you know, Lori. But did I mention the date?
Well, I don't think you have, so let's mention it. And if we did, we'll do it again.
Okay. The date of the symposium is Friday, September 18th, and it takes place at the Kane Center. That's Kane Center in Stuart, Florida. And as I had mentioned, it is free. Our registration and breakfast is from 8:30 until 9. And then we'll have our speakers from 9 o'clock until 2:30. And before we wrap up at 2:30, we have a variety of people and places donating door prizes for the attendees. So that's always a nice bonus to get a door prize. And there is, if somebody has a loved one who really can't sit through the symposium, well, they will offer free respite care at the daycare center at the Kane Center throughout the symposium. And that makes it much easier for caregivers because not everybody who has a memory loss disorder can really sit through a 8:30 to 2:30 conference. So I'm sure they have something very special planned for the people who go to the daycare during that time.
Wonderful. Well, I'm hoping people go both. That they can fit it into their schedule to see the film and then come to the symposium, because I think the film will actually trigger some additional questions. And when we do that panel, I think it'll be really, really powerful if people are able to work both in. Now, if you're not, that's no excuse not to come to just one. So don't get me wrong there. So we still want you to register. But if you can make both, I think it'll be well worth your time. And energy, and again, at no cost, So you'll see a great, entertaining film, and you'll get lots of knowledge. And at the symposium, and I think you'll get fired up in a good way after experiencing both of these events. I think it's gonna be really a powerful shift in terms of how we care, how we need to care, how we need to communicate just with one another as a family in general, and move forward as a community, supporting one another and understanding the impact that we have, on one another. I think will be really, really powerful. So I'm just so thrilled to come down and join you guys. And I'm just tell those hurricanes to stay away while I'm down there.
You bet.
Yeah. I know you got control over that, Donna. So, yeah, it will definitely be fun. Well, why don't we go ahead and give people that contact information again? And it might be easier just for them to go to my site versus trying to write down the website. So you can go to alzheimersspeaks.com. Go on our homepage and just scroll down. You'll see a big, beautiful purple flyer that talks about the symposium and the film, and just click on that, and you'll go right to the registration. But you said there was also a phone number that they could call, so we could go ahead and give that out.
Okay. The number is 1-800-272-3900.
Okay, well, wonderful, Donna. Thank you so much for being with us today. Anything else that we missed that we need to cover?
No, but one thing I do want to add, you mentioned people are coming from far away, and I've been looking at the RSVPs, and I am so impressed. People are coming from very far away, and it's because of you, Lori, so I'm really excited about that. I think you have a fan club that is down here in South Florida, and they're not going to miss you being here, so we're excited.
Well, good. I like I said, I'm looking forward to it. There's a few of us experts, are considered experts, use that word very loosely, around the country that we're actually going to try to get together when I'm down there, because there's several that you have right in your community, in Florida there, but there's a few others that are chatting about flying in and stuff too, so it should be fun. It'll be a fun time, and I can't wait to meet, all the Floridians, as my mother used to say. My mom loved Florida, and so I can't wait to catch she would always say the Floridian sunset, even when she was up at the lake, it was the Floridian sunset, that everything. Oh. She just found so much peace down there when my dad and her were able to travel and stuff, and so it'll be dear to my heart just visiting down there. I'm sure she'll be joining me, from her heavenly spot and watching over everything. So, again, thank you so much for joining us. Really looking forward to the events that the Treasure Coast Symposium on September 17th. Again, is going to be the film, His Neighbor Phil, and then the symposium will be on September 18th. And you can go to alzheimersspeaks.com, go to the homepage, and just scroll down, look for the purple flyer on the symposium, click on that, and you'll go right to the registration. So, again, thank you so much, Donna. I appreciate all you're doing. Look forward to meeting you and your team down there, and all the wonderful people giving care to those dealing with dementia.
Thank you, and I ditto.
Okay. Well, we will see you soon. I do also want to give a shout out to here at Alive and Social. It's called Pardon the Dissent, which is also a talk show hosted by comedian Joey Vincent. And Joey uses his humor and sarcasm and satire to analyze politics and current events and just daily issues that keep popping up. So check out his show. Again, Pardon the Dissent on Alive and Social. I have to say I'm loving my new home here at Alive and Social. Everybody here is fantastic. My little board operator, Wyatt, he just does such a good job taking care of me over here. So we appreciate that. I do want to have Beth just give us one more time her information, Beth Patterson, on reverse mortgages and resources. Why don't you let our audience know how they can contact you again?
Again, the phone number is 651-762-9648, and websites rmsidac.com. That actually stands for Reverse Mortgages, Security, Independence, Dignity, and Control, because that's what our clients get. And then SavvySeniorSources.com.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Don't forget about HealthStar Home Health here locally in Minnesota. If you need a home health care agency, I can't say enough good things about them. If you're dealing with dementia specifically, they are trained as Alzheimer's Whisperer, which is a really cool program that not only deals with the person diagnosed, but helps the family deal with different strategies, to help them live a better life together. If you're looking for a clinical trial, check out the Alzheimer's team on Facebook. Again, you can help reshape Alzheimer's treatments. In closing, I just want to wrap up and thank you all for listening to us today. Please pass this along. Again, your likes, your clicks, your shares. You can do that through the podcast, through the blog, through the Twitter feed. You know me, I'm all over social media, so just pass it along. Do them all, And, taking those few seconds will make a big difference in somebody's life. I know it will. I've heard way too many stories. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for sharing the work that we do here. We We really believe that we can make a difference by working together. If you are in need of, kind of a little simple tip to help you deal with Alzheimer's and dementia, maybe you're giving care for someone, you can go to our site and register and go to our free tools. There you can get your memory chip, which is just a really simple tool, and basically it switches you from focusing on your daily tasks, kind of that to-do list, which needs to be done, don't get me wrong, but when we focus really on trying to be person-centered, we can't do that by our list. We have to focus on what are their needs. And if we can focus on are they safe, happy, and pain-free, we will do those tasks differently. And you're going to find out you don't need to do all of them all the time either, and give yourself a little bit of a break. So look forward to chatting with you next week, and we'll be talking with Danjia Gale from the Women's Broadcast Network. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great week, guys.